Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 5th of June 2024. Now the price of Bitcoin guys has definitely crossed the $70,000 mark, and I wouldn't be surprised later on in the day. And by the time you're listening to the episode, the price of Bitcoin would have crossed the $71,000 mark as well. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at that. And what I'm going to be doing guys is I'm going to be running through the cryptocurrency market volume. We will take a deep dive into DeFi, decentralized exchanges and quite a lot of other. Now in today's episode guys, we do have a massive news. And that is all the way from Thailand, and they've approved the first Bitcoin spot ETF, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this news. Now, could it be possible that an Ethereum ETF will be approved? We'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news as well. Now, in the world of decentralized apps, guys, we do have a really important update, and that is to do with Dapper Labs. Now, look guys, Dapper Labs, they were well known so far as NFTs is concerned, isn't it? But unfortunately, the news is that Dapper Labs, they have decided to agree to a $4 million settlement. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news, because this news guys has to do with a settlement in class action lawsuit with investors who accuse the company. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now at this point of time guys, I'm pretty much sure you would know what NBA Top Shot Moments is, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and revisit that. Now look guys, this year in 2024, there are quite a lot of events that is shaping the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? Now the final event which I do feel will play a massive impact so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned is to do with the US elections. Now there is an interesting update guys. There are donations pouring in for anti-crypto candidates, and there are quite a lot of top companies being involved, so we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now look guys, in the episode that I released on Monday, that is the 3rd of June, I talked about the left-leaning administration, that is Joe Biden. He went ahead and vetoed the SAB 121 repeal, isn't it? Now one of the reasons why he's done that guys is it would mean that all the cryptocurrency regulations will still fall under the SEC, but there is another body called the CFTC guys, and technically and legally speaking guys, they should be the ones who should be managing Bitcoin cryptocurrency and so far as legislations regarding blockchain is concerned. Now regarding CFTC guys, there is a committee which has been assigned, and I'll go ahead and share some of the people that are involved in that. Now look guys, there are quite a lot of heavy duty giants such as the founder of Aptos, that is Mo Sheikh, and also members from BlackRock, BNY Mellon, and quite a lot of other. So definitely positive news for the cryptocurrency world, to be honest. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, I'm going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news guys has to do with central bank. Now the first news has to do with Qatar Central Bank, and they have announced launch of the digital currency project. Now look guys, so far central bank digital currency is concerned, me, I'm personally not a fan of it, but I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this. Now the second news also has to do with central bank, but this has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Saudi central bank guys, they mull blockchain use, and the great thing is that they're saying no to phasing out cash, so definitely positive news in my opinion. So I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding these news guys. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm, and here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is at $2.63 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is at 2.48%. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, it is at $88.02 billion. Now, look, guys, these numbers will drastically change as and when trading of Ethereum kicks in, isn't it? Now, really, I'm not sure what kind of an impact it will have on the price of Ethereum, guys, because the Ethereum spot ETF does not take into consideration the staking services, isn't it? So if I'm an investor, rather than investing in Ethereum spot ETF, I may as well go and buy the actual Ethereum, isn't it? That would make more sense for me if I'm an investor. Now, so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, guys, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 6.34%. Now, if you look at the volume in DeFi, it is only at $6.69 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 8.61% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, so far as the total value locked is concerned, guys, it is at $108.99 billion, with Lido still dominating at $35.97 billion. Now, this week and the week before that, guys, decentralized to centralized exchange dominance has gone down, but it has been relatively consistent, and today it is at 17.84%. So looks like since the last 2 weeks, a lot of decentralized exchange hasn't been used, isn't it? And that is reflected in the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges. So let me do one thing, guys. Let me just run through the top 5 decentralized exchange volume. The number 1 is Uniswap, and its volume is $1.72 billion. The second one, guys, is Orca, and its volume is $608.74 million. Now look, guys, in the history of decentralized exchange in my Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast at least, only on one occasion Orca was in the number 1 position, and it definitely overtook the volume of Uniswap. But other than that, it has always been 3rd or 4th. But today, guys, for the very first time, it is 2nd as well. The 3rd one, guys, is Core Finance, and its volume is $291.11 million. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 4th. Its volume is $265.48 million. And Meteor, guys, looks like it is a new exchange. Its volume is $181.69 million. Now, I'm really curious to check and do some investigation, guys, on what is going on in Orca. Have they made any changes, or are there any system updates or protocol level updates? Because the volume has definitely spiked up, isn't it? So news regarding Orca definitely seems interesting in my opinion. Now, so far the volume of stablecoins is concerned, guys, it is at $82.47 billion, and as of today, that is the 5th of June, stablecoins is accounting for 91.39% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and out of this $82.47 billion, guys, Tether USDT is accounting for $68.65 billion, FDUSD, guys, its volume is $7.05 billion, and finally Circle USDC, guys, its volume is number 3rd, and the volume is less than $1 billion in comparison to, let's say, FDUSD. Circle USDC's volume is $6.20 billion. Now let me do one thing, guys, let me quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap, guys, is at $1.32 trillion. When would we touch $2 trillion? Only time will tell, I guess, isn't it? Now later on in today's episode, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss Thailand going ahead and launching the spot Bitcoin ETF, and there is a very high possibility, guys, they will be going ahead and launching an Ethereum spot ETF as well. Now look, guys, if you're a true maximalist so far as peer-to-peer electronic cash system is concerned, ideally you should not be happy so far as ETF is concerned, isn't it? Because what that does is, it gives the opportunity for trillion-dollar companies and billion-dollar companies to go ahead and make more money, isn't it? Now, I definitely don't have any problem in them doing that, but I'm talking about in terms of Bitcoin. It was created as a movement to a separation of money and the state, isn't it? And Bitcoin, guys, in a way is people's money, isn't it? And I often think about this, guys. Can people, let's say in Zimbabwe, African countries, or people in Bangladesh or India, can they go ahead and afford to buy any Bitcoin and Ethereum? Unfortunately, at this point of time, the answer is no, isn't it? So these are things you need to factor as well. Now, so far as the market cap of Ethereum is concerned, guys, it is at $457 billion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $35.56 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $13.50 billion. Now, the dominance of Bitcoin has definitely picked up pace. To date is at 53.10%, and most likely this is because of news regarding Thailand going ahead and approving a Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? Now, so far as Ethereum's dominance is concerned, guys, it is at 17.40%. Now, what I want to do next, guys, is I just quickly want to run through the top 5 NFT marketplaces for the last 7 days. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to DeFiLlama.com and just run through these numbers yourself. Now, along with DeFiLlama.com, guys, what I tend to do is I tend to look at DapRadar.com as well. But later on, we'll go ahead and discuss some unfortunate news that is more to do with Dapper Labs. But in a way, it is positive news because they've got it and settled all the drama between SEC. Now, so far, the top 5 NFT marketplaces concerned, guys, since the last 7 days, these numbers are showing in Ethereum. So that is definitely a positive sign. And Blur Marketplace, guys, is number 1. And its volume is 8,985.81 Ethereum. Blur Aggregator is at number 2nd. Its volume is 3,415.53 Ethereum. CryptoPunks, guys, is at number 3rd. Its volume is 699.36 Ethereum. The number 4th, guys, is X2Y2 at 255.07 Ethereum. And finally, Gem, guys, it is at 201.44 Ethereum. Now, what is a bit bizarre and strange, guys, is OpenSea is nowhere in the picture. That is absolutely scary, isn't it? Because prior to Blur and Blur Aggregator being launched, OpenSea was dominating so far as the NFT marketplace is concerned, but OpenSea definitely don't seem to be friendly so far as Blur is concerned. So look, guys, you can't have a monopoly, especially in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, isn't it? Now let me know, guys, if you're an advocate of Blur, or do you still prefer OpenSea? I know for a fact a lot of traders definitely like Blur, but a lot of people who actually do use OpenSea, they're definitely not massive fans of Blur, isn't it? So what is your preference, guys? Mention them in the comment section below. Now this entire week, guys, I'm talking about interoperability, isn't it? And in the episode that I released on the 3rd of June, guys, I touched base on what interoperability is. Now in today's episode, guys, I want to focus on standardization and interoperability. So what I want to do next, guys, is I want to go and discuss the importance of standardization and interoperability in the blockchain space. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Because look, guys, as we know, blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize industries, hinging significantly on its ability to function cohesively across diverse platforms, isn't it? And interoperability, guys, facilitated by standardization, is the key to unlocking this potential. So let me do one thing, guys. Let me delve deeper into why standardization is crucial for interoperability in the blockchain space, and let's explore numerous benefits and challenges that must be addressed So it is really critical that we truly understand the importance of interoperability in blockchain. And interoperability in blockchain, guys, refers to the seamless communication and operation between different blockchain networks. And at a very basic level, guys, one simple example I can think of is now you can go ahead and send an email from Gmail to, let's say, your Yahoo account or your work email address, isn't it? This is possible only because of interoperability, and there are standards set in place because of which interoperability is possible. Now, interoperability in the blockchain context, guys, refers to the seamless communication and operation between different blockchain networks, and that is crucial, guys, for cross-chain transactions, unified ecosystem and user experiences in it. And so far as cross-chain transaction is concerned, enabling transaction across different blockchain platform, guys, ensures the value and data can flow freely between disparate systems. For example, guys, a transaction involving Bitcoin and Ethereum would be facilitated by a protocol that allows these two different blockchains to understand and process each other's transactions. Now, so far as unified ecosystem is concerned, a unified ecosystem allows decentralized apps and even smart contracts to interact across multiple blockchains. This can lead to more comprehensive and versatile applications, but leverage the unique strengths of different blockchains, such as combining, let's say, Ethereum smart contract with, let's say, Solana blockchain protocol and different blockchain protocols as well. Now look, guys, if you're working in the gaming industry, interoperability will definitely make quite a lot of sense. So let's say if you have some NFTs in one particular game, you can go ahead and use it in another game as well. This brings me to the third point, guys, of user experience. Now, enhancing user experience by providing seamless access to diverse blockchain services without needing to manage different wallets or interfaces is crucial so far as user experience is concerned. For example, guys, a user might hold assets on multiple blockchains and may desire a single interface to manage these assets, which is possible through interoperable system. And this is the role of standardization, guys. So far standardization is concerned, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on 4 key areas. The first one is interoperability protocols. The second one is data formats and structures. The third one, guys, is smart contract standards. And finally, the fourth one is security. Now look, guys, standardization involves developing and implementing technical standards which are extremely crucial for achieving interoperability in the blockchain space. So the first point, that is interoperability, guys. Protocols like inter-blockchain communications, that is IBC, allow different blockchains to communicate. For example, guys, Cosmos uses IBC to enable blockchains within its ecosystem to go ahead and exchange data and assets seamlessly. The second point, guys, is regarding data formats and structures. And standardizing data formats ensures that information exchange between blockchain is understood correctly. For instance, guys, the Universal Wallet Standard aims to create a consistent format for digital wallets, making it easier to manage various cryptocurrencies and digital assets across different blockchain platforms. Now, so far smart contract standards is concerned, guys, standards like Ethereum's ERC-20 tokens ensure that smart contracts operate consistently across different blockchain platforms, and this allows developers to create tokens that are compatible with various wallets, exchanges, and other services without custom integration. Now, the fourth point, guys, is regarding security, and standard security practices protect against vulnerabilities. For example, guys, standardized encryption protocol ensure that data transfer between blockchains remains secure and tamper-proof, thereby reducing the risk of hack and data breaches. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding standardization? Now let me go ahead and share some of the benefits of standardization, guys, because standardization reduces the complexity of developing cross-chain applications, and developers can focus on building new features and services without worrying about interoperability issues. And this fosters a more innovative environment where new ideas can be tested and implemented more rapidly. And so far as market expansion is concerned, guys, businesses can expand their offerings across multiple blockchain networks. For example, let's say a DeFi application, they can operate on several blockchains and they will have access to larger user base and more liquidity, isn't it? Thereby enhancing its utility and market research. And what I think, guys, the standardized processes and protocol also reduce the time and cost associated with developing and maintaining custom integration. And this efficiency, guys, allows resources to be allocated more effectively, promoting faster development cycles and reducing operational cost. And look, our standardization also fosters trust among users by providing consistent and predictable interactions, isn't it? And users are more likely to adopt blockchain technologies when they know that their assets and data can move freely and securely across different platforms, enhancing overall confidence in the technology. Now look, our standardization in the blockchain world might seem really simple, but there are quite a lot of challenges. So what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on 4 key challenges so far standardization will play in the world of interoperability in the blockchain system. Now the first one is diverse ecosystem, because look, guys, right now there are different types of blockchain protocols, isn't it? and the blockchain space is highly fragmented with numerous platforms having more unique features and protocols, and achieving consensus on standards across such a diverse landscape is extremely challenging. For example, guys, different blockchains may have varying approaches to consensus mechanism, thereby making it difficult, in certain cases next to impossible as well, to create a one-size-fits-all standard. Now, so far as the decision making is concerned, guys, you need to understand that in the so-called blockchain or Web3 space, it might actually take a couple of months, maybe even a couple of years to go ahead and implement any changes, but in a centralized world, the decision can be done in just a matter of minutes, maximum in a day's time as well as in it. Now, the next point, guys, is regarding rapid evolution, and blockchain technology is evolving quickly, and standards may become outdated swiftly. Now, continuous updates and revisions are necessary to keep standards relevant, and this requires a dynamic approach to standardization that needs to be adapted to new technological advancements. Now, the next point, guys, is regarding resistance to change. Now, some blockchain communities, especially Bitcoin maximalists, may resist standardization efforts, isn't it? Now, so far as Bitcoin is concerned, guys, we know the drama between inscriptions and even runes. Some Bitcoin maximalists absolutely love it, while some absolutely hate it. Now, so far as resistance to change is concerned, guys, let's say if we talk about Ethereum or Solana or different blockchain protocol, people always prefer to maintain their proprietary protocols and systems, and this resistance can stem from a desire to preserve unique features or competitive advantages that might be diluted by standardization. And finally, guys, the next thing I'd like to talk about is regarding governance issues. Now, establishing governance mechanism to oversee the deployment and implementation of standardization can be complex, and distributed environment, guys, in particular, may struggle with creating effective governance structures that ensure broad participation and fair decision making, in my opinion. So look, guys, the only thing I have to say regarding standardization in the world of interoperability in the blockchain context is that standardization is crucial for achieving interoperability in the blockchain space. It enables seamless interactions between different blockchain networks, fosters innovations, enhances efficiency, and builds user trust. But despite these challenges, the benefits of standardization are substantial, paving the way for a more interconnected and robust blockchain ecosystem, and collaborative efforts among blockchain communities, industry stakeholders, and regulatory bodies are essential to develop and adopt standards that will drive the future of blockchain technology towards greater integration and utility. So let me know, guys, if you do have any thoughts regarding this, or if you do have any additional points that you'd like to add, mention them in the comments below. Now look, guys, so far standardization and interoperability in the metaverse is concerned, I do have a series of, I believe, 5 episodes, which is in partnership with Metaverse Standards Forum, so please feel free to go and check it out, and let me know your thoughts regarding that, guys. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, the price of Bitcoin right now, guys, is at $70,952, and there is a very high possibility by the time you're listening to the episode, it may have crossed the $71,000 mark as well. And since the last 24 hours, guys, it is up by 2.63%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.24%. Now, if you look at the Fear and Greed Index, guys, the number shown is 65, and it is actually stating that the cryptocurrency market is at greed. But look, guys, so far as the Bitcoin mining industry is concerned, they're definitely not doing good. And Riot Platform did actually state that the Bitcoin production has dropped by 53%. Now, it's totally understandable because the supply has reduced, isn't it? But look, guys, every time the Bitcoin mining halving kicks in, all of the miners, they tend to go on losses, and some of them end up closing the shop as well. Now, would it be possible for these miners to go out and utilize the mining equipments, let's say towards artificial intelligence? And that is exactly what Core Scientific is doing. And Core Scientific, guys, expects that its AI collaboration with CoreWeave will generate $3.5 billion over 12 years from renting out 18% from its infrastructure. So look, guys, if you are someone aggressively into mining, you may want to look at artificial intelligence. And I'm not sure if you want to keep your mining in the Bitcoin equipment, because it is ridiculously expensive to go ahead and mine one Bitcoin, isn't it? It used to cost $53,000, but the prices are pumped up to $100,000 plus to go ahead and mine just one Bitcoin. So these are things you need to factor as well, so far as mining is concerned. Now, so far as Ethereum is concerned, guys, Ethereum is switched from proof of work to proof of stake, and the price of Ethereum right now is $3,806. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.96%, but since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.04%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, has crossed the $700 mark. It is up by 10.66% since the last 24 hours, and it is at $701. And since the last 7 days, guys, it is at 16.71%. So it looks like Binance BNB Coin is definitely back, isn't it? Now I'm really curious to check what is going on in the Binance BNB world, because CZ is definitely heading towards jail, isn't it? So really am curious to check what is going on in the Binance BNB ecosystem, and if there is something guys you know more about it, mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's discuss massive news, and that is all the way from Thailand. And Thailand has approved its first Bitcoin ETF through One Asset Management, also called as 1AM, and it has named the Bitcoin ETF as One Bitcoin ETF Fund of Funds Unhedged. And this ETF guys will be available from the 31st of May to June 6th, but is restricted to wealthy and institutional investors due to regulatory requirements. Now this move guys follows the Thai Security and Exchange Commission's recent rule amendment allowing local asset management firms to offer Bitcoin ETFs to a limited investor base. And this goes back to what I mentioned earlier, isn't it? With the news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF and Ethereum ETF, millionaires are turning out to be multi-billionaires. Trillion-dollar companies are benefited by it. Now, so far as ETF is concerned, guys, the ETF will invest in level global funds to ensure liquidity and security, adhering to international standards for cryptocurrency storage. And one AM CEO, that is Poti Harinasuta, highlighted the benefits of digital assets for diversification and noted the potential for high returns despite volatility. And investors guys are advised to allocate no more than 5% of the portfolio to Bitcoin. Now look guys, while 1AM has received approval, the MFC Asset Management is still waiting regulatory clearance for its Bitcoin ETF, and this approval aligns Thailand with other jurisdictions offering Bitcoin Spot ETF, which gained mainstream acceptance with US approval earlier this year, isn't it? Now 11 Bitcoin ETF guys are now listed on US exchange, and Ethereum ETF trading is going to kick in pretty soon as well, isn't it? So let me know guys, what are your thoughts regarding ETF in general? Are you a fan of it, or are you dislike it like me? Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Dapper Labs. And Dapper Labs guys has agreed to pay $4 million settlement to end the class action lawsuit alleging its NBA Top Shot NFTs were unregistered securities and that it restricted withdrawals to maintain value. Now pending court approval guys, the settlement covers payment to investors and legal fees, and Dapper Labs will enhance compliance training and transaction speeds. Now the CEO guys highlighted the need for clear regulations distinguishing consumer NFTs from financial products, noting no regulators have classified NBA Top Shot NFTs as securities, and the SEC closed its investigation into the company. Now look guys, them going ahead and making sure that the NFTs cannot be sold so that the price increases. This is definitely not right, isn't it? Now look guys, initially Dapper Labs did actually deny these claims, and they were actually asserting that the NFTs were digital collectibles. Now regarding the settlement guys, if it is approved by a New York court, the settlement will end the 3-year battle, and it includes $4 million of class members, attorney fees and settlement cost, and Dapper Labs will also implement compliance training as I mentioned earlier, and they will improve payment and withdrawal speeds and transfer control of remaining Flow tokens to Flow Foundation to promote the ecosystem's decentralization. Now I do specifically remember guys that the NBA Top Shot NFTs definitely made quite a lot of news, isn't it? Now if you're someone who watches a lot of MMA or UFC, block assets they tend to do something similar, but it is mostly meant for UFC fighters, not necessarily for the fans. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding anti-crypto candidates. Now what happened guys is on the 22nd of May, the US House of Representatives passed a FIT21 bill, isn't it? Now on the 23rd of May guys, when the Ethereum Spot ETF got approved, I went ahead and explained everything regarding the FIT21 bill. Please feel free to go and check it out, because essentially guys, it is a regulatory framework for the cryptocurrency industry, and surprisingly guys, a lot of the Democrats did actually make a U-turn and they went ahead and approved the bill. And the answer is pretty simple guys, US election is coming up, isn't it? But what happened guys is last Friday, Biden vetoed the SAB 121 repeal, underscoring crypto-related tensions not just in national politics but within its own party. Now at a broader level guys, you need to understand that if the F21 bill is approved, all of the legislation so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, they will be moved from SEC to CFTC, and later on I'll go and discuss some news regarding the members who have joined CFTC. Now regarding this news guys, a lot of donations are pouring in to anti-crypto candidates. Now regarding this news guys, there is a committee called as PAC, that is a political action committee, and I believe it is called as Fair Shake, and Fair Shake guys has nearly doubled its fundraising to $160 million, and this is due to donations from Coinbase, Ripple and Andreessen Horowitz. And Coinbase guys, they contributed an additional $25 million to Fair Shake, and as I mentioned earlier guys, Fair Shake is a crypto industry political action committee, also called as PAC, and this just shows the increased crypto spending on 2024 election, isn't it? And according to Open Secrets guys, Fair Shake's fundraising is surpassed only by ActBlue and WinRed. the main payment processors for Democratic and Republican parties. Definitely a really political move. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, try to follow what these politicians are saying regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, historically, I've always said this, guys, that left-leaning administration and Democrats, they're definitely not in favor of cryptocurrency, but because of election year, looks like they are in favor of it, isn't it? Republicans and right-wing ideologies, they have definitely been in favor of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, open blockchain, open source, and definitely freedom of speech as well. And Republicans, guys, are definitely opposed to CBDCs, rightly so as well. Now let me go ahead and touch base on the next news, guys, that is CFTC, and that is something which I touched base earlier on as well. And CFTC, guys, they have a digital asset subcommittee. So let me go ahead and read out some of the names in this subcommittee, guys, because recently Apto's founder, that is Moshe, he joined the CFTC digital asset subcommittee, and along with him, guys, there is BlackRock, BNY Mellon representatives. Now, the subcommittee, guys, is part of the larger Global Market Advisory Committee, and it includes industry representatives from companies like BlackRock, BNY Mellon, and even Uniswap Labs as well. Now, the subcommittee, guys, advises the CFTC on rulemaking related to international trade and also for businesses. So definitely positive news, I guess. But look, guys, so far CFTC is concerned, having members from the cryptocurrency space will definitely put out only positive things, isn't it? So I really am not sure if you're supposed to have a mixture of candidates or only people from a specific field, because I feel that if you have people only from a specific field, they're only going to show information that is in that favor of the industry, isn't it? So let me know what are your thoughts regarding this. So these are some macro level news, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee 88 series. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And both news, guys, has to do with central bank. Let's talk with the first one that has to do with Qatar Central Bank, and they have announced the launch of digital currency project. So let me go ahead and give out more information, guys, because Qatar Central Bank, called as QCB, they announced the completion of infrastructure for the CBDC project, and they did that on Sunday. Now this initiative, guys, aims to keep pace with rapid global development in the digital currency, and QCB, or Qatar Central Bank, completed a comprehensive study before moving to testing phase. Now the next phase, guys, involves testing and developing selected CBDC application, and tests will involve local and international banks. Now listen, guys, it's really important to understand that there are different types of CBDCs. You have wholesale CBDC, you have retail CBDC, and you have multi-CBDC. Now when you talk about multi-CBDC, guys, these are transactions that can be done internationally. When you talk about wholesale CBDC, guys, these are CBDCs that can be done only within the banks. And then we have retail CBDC that can be done by you and me. Now this particular test, guys, involves local and international banks, isn't it? So it looks like it's going to be a mixture of these three. And the trial environment will utilize advanced technologies. Now this project, guys, will increase access to capital markets for banks in Qatar, and they aim to enhance domestic settlement processes. Now based on the news, guys, improving the efficiency of security transactions is a key focus, and the first experimental phase is extended to October of 2023, and they want to leverage artificial intelligence, also distributed ledger technology, not necessarily blockchain technology, isn't it? And they also want to go ahead and implement emerging technologies. Now they want to expand participation, guys, in financial market facilities to enhance liquidity as well. So look, guys, in the world of CBDC, this definitely looks like a promising move, isn't it? And they want to address information security aspects during implementation. Now this particular news, guys, aligns with the third financial sector strategy, fintech strategy, and Qatar's National Vision 2030. And part of Qatar Central Bank's effort, guys, is to regulate and develop financial sector as well. Now this news, guys, reflects Qatar Central Bank's commitment to digital transformation in the financial sector, and it is an important milestone towards building a digital economy in Qatar. Now we need to understand, guys, at this point of time it is still at an experimental stage, isn't it? And the experiment results will help identify future CBDC use cases to enhance system efficiency and instant settlement. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Me personally, guys, I'm definitely not a fan of central bank digital currency, and what I tend to do is, guys, every month I do have a session on central bank digital currency, and it is called a central bank digital currency, the basics, threats to freedom, and its role in the metaverse. So when I do have next session, guys, I'll definitely go ahead and mention it in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. But in the meantime, guys, what you can do is go to eventbrite.com and definitely feel free to go ahead and check out any events that are coming up. Alternatively, guys, you can also go to the Blockchain DXB website, and on the tab it says blockchain. At the bottom of the page, you'll see two documents that has loads of information regarding CBDCs, so please feel free to go ahead and download it as well. Now, guys, let's discuss another news from a central bank, but this is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia's central bank, guys, they are using blockchain technology, And what is great is that they're definitely not phasing out cash. So let me go ahead and share more information regarding this, because Saudi Central Bank, that is SAMA, is examining emerging technologies including distributed ledger and blockchain, and SAMA's exploration, guys, is part of a broader push towards a less cash-dependent society. Now, they have a digital currency project called as Dapper. It is a key initiative in this exploration, and SAMA, guys, is one of the four central banks in G20 to experience distributed ledger and blockchain technology, and this initiative, guys, aligns with Saudi Vision 2030, and the government's goal is to boost e-commerce payment to 70% of total transactions by year 2030, and they definitely want to address information security aspects during implementation. Now, SAMA, guys, emphasizes there are no plans to completely phase out cash, and the central bank's efforts are aimed to increasing the use of digital transaction, and SAMA is optimistic about achieving the e-payment global 5 years ahead of 2030 target, and the exploration of blockchain technology and distributed ledger is ongoing, and they'll definitely make an informed decision. Now, the project, that is Dapper, guys, is a collaborative effort in digital currency deployment, and SAMA's approach involves studying the impacts and benefits of these technologies. So definitely positive news, guys, in my opinion, because look, Vision 2030 is coming up, isn't it? And because of that, guys, they are including multiple initiatives to modernize the financial sector, and the push for e-payment is part of a larger digital transformation strategy, and SAMA, guys, is considering various applications of blockchain technology as well, and the central bank strategy includes ensuring a balanced transition to digital payments. Now, what is important to note, guys, is that cash will continue to be part of the economy even as the digital payment increases, and SAMA's efforts contribute to Kingdom's goal of technological advancement and also financial innovation. So definitely positive news, guys, in my opinion. And look, guys, it is great that they definitely don't want to go out and phase out cash, isn't it? And Nigel Farage, guys, who's from UK right now, he's definitely a massive advocate of not phasing out cash. So I'd really urge you guys to go out and follow it as well. So those were the news, guys, on cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Crypto and Coffee at 8. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the like button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go ahead and check out our website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of central bank digital currency, metaverse, artificial intelligence, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency as well. Now, guys, so the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Satish who asks, I often listen to your Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast, and you often say that the volume in DeFi is less. Well, the question is, what is it that we can do so that people start using a lot of DeFi protocols and projects? This is such a really interesting question, Satish, and this goes back to the basics about DeFi, isn't it? Look, Satish, when you talk about decentralized finance, I hate saying this is something which only technical nerds and people who have already been in the space can go out and use. Now, I talk to a lot of people who are actually using DeFi, and they have a really strong experience in coding, and only those guys are the ones who are into DeFi. Now, this is such a really interesting and tricky question, because when you talk about decentralized finance, it is ideally the community in pure sense that goes ahead and decides the decentralized finance system, isn't it? So technically speaking, and even legally speaking, the entire consensus protocol should be completely distributed. Now, keeping that thing in mind, it all boils down to the user experience, and to be honest, that is precisely the reason why I don't see people using a lot of decentralized finance. Now, me personally, I'm not a technical geek, and even I have an absolute nightmare to go out unless you do any staking part or doing any lending services. And you always need to remember, in the Web 2 world, things are so simple, isn't it? Now, the people using smart contracts or people handling these codes as people, let's say, working in Ethereum Foundation, for them it is definitely easy because coding and all those things, that is part of the day-to-day work, isn't it? But let's say in order to get mainstream adoption, you're talking about people, let's say, who have absolutely no idea on what coding is, who are rather focused on the regular day-to-day job, them getting involved, and unfortunately, the protocols and projects are just not simple. Even if you were to try to explain someone what yield farming is, it would be an absolute nightmare for them to understand. And one question I often ask is, when you talk about the interest rate, where does the interest rate come from? We talk so much about fiat currencies and how they create money out of thin air, but when you talk about decentralized finance, 99 of these projects and protocols, they tend to create interest out of thin air as well. So these are factors you need to think about as well. But to answer your question, Satish, the answer is pretty simple. It is all about the user experience, but you can take it as a feature or a drawback of the Web3 world, because when you talk about Web3, the entire protocol technically and legally should be distributed, and if there are any changes, let's say so far as customer experience is concerned, it should be the consensus of the community, not a centralized decision-making process. And as I touched base earlier on as well, in case of a centralized project, so far as let's say customer service issue is concerned, it can be implemented in just a couple of minutes, probably in just a matter of few hours or a couple of days. But in case of distributed world, the decision making takes months, probably even years. The Bitcoin improvement proposal that got approved took almost 18 months for miners to go and switch from ECDSA to Taproot as now signature. Now these are things that we are discussing. Even if you look at Ethereum switching from proof of work to proof of stake, it took years to go and implement it successfully, isn't it? Same thing is applicable regarding decentralized finance. And look, I don't see decentralized finance numbers to be improving, to be completely honest, until and unless we do have newer cryptography methods, because you always need to factor into consideration the whole blockchain trilemma problem, that is security, scalability, and decentralization. And in my opinion, none of the projects have solved the blockchain trilemma problem. Those are my honest thoughts, but definitely a really tricky question, Satish. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything season blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, also please feel free to go ahead and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursday we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.